performances, so we're happy with where we are.
Now on Saturday night, Sligo Rovers were home to Drogheda United at the Showgrounds. The home crowd could hardly have expected the fireworks that were to follow. Here's Amond once more.
Sligo gave a first start to new signing John Russell, and his creative guile in midfield was clearly an addition on the night, as Rovers dominated this one from start to finish. Eoin Doyle setting an early marker with a header from Gary McCabe's cross. After losing their previous home game to Bows, Rovers clearly wanted to appease their supporters with an all-action display. King intervened as Amond was about to pull the trigger. Drogheda's chances were few and far between. Crowley had about the best of them from this Gareth O'Connor delivery. Then a moment that perhaps didn't change the entire course of events, but certainly didn't help United's cause. Eoin Doyle broke away, was taken down by King. Last man, according to referee Dave McKeown, and Drogheda were down to 10 men just before the break, and Rovers made their superiority count, and it was a goal of real quality. Richie with the neat footwork. Great finish, but the jury's still out on the celebration. The second half saw Rovers cut loose. Tireless defender Gavin doubled their lead 5 minutes after the restart. The floodgates were beginning to open. 3 minutes later, Amond made it 3-0. Sligo's approach play was precise and patient. Amond got the better of Jamie Harris. That his fourth league goal of the season. Alan Matthews was optimistic last week about a newfound resilience, but by now there was little to repel the Sligo onslaughts. Visitors were bailed out though by the linesman after Mark Doninger found the net. Meanwhile, at the other end, Piers, not content with scoring past United's keeper, fancied putting one past Richard Brush. Danny Ventre to the rescue. Gary McCabe will be out to impress Paul Dillon when he links up with the under-23 squad tomorrow. More of this will go a long way towards endearing himself to the cause. By now there seemed little resistance to the wave after wave of Sligo attack, but let's take nothing away from the brilliance of Jason McCartney, who raided forward from left back, found Padraig Amond with an easy finish. Seven minutes later, an Amond turned provider. Too much space at the back, and an easy finish for John Dillon, on as a substitute, scoring within 60 seconds. But Rovers weren't finished at that, and in the 85th minute, Amond made it 6-0, and in doing so helped himself to the match ball. A first senior hat-trick of his career, and the first by anyone in the Premier Division this year. 6-0 the final score, a night to forget for Drogheda, who have now conceded a staggering 33 league goals, a feat matched only by Salt Hill Devon.
That sending off is a big turning point in the game, of course it is. You know, for 44 minutes, Drogheda are going to turn around 0-0, they've got the win behind them. Would it have been a different game? It probably would. Unfortunately, we got a sending off in our favour. We scored before half-time, and then obviously the confidence comes flying through the team.
The sending off and the concession of the goal at the same time changed the game, but there was one goal and we only needed a goal. Second half, again, performance was just not to the level that you'd want, not to the level that you demand, and unfortunately we conceded once again 2 very soft goals within a 7-minute period, and Sligo could have got another 4 or 5 goals.
And here we see how those games leave the Premier Division table. Dundalk on top by virtue of a better goal difference from Rovers. St Pat's, Sporting and Bohemians all with games in hand. At the bottom, Drogheda remain 3 points clear of Bray, but Wanderers have 2 games in hand now and are at home to the County Louth side on Friday night. Well, Paul, as we saw during the match there, just in the last few minutes, news has come through to us that Alan Matthews has resigned as manager of Drogheda, the man you worked with, of course, in your time at Cork. Are you surprised?
Well, I'm disappointed for Alan, obviously, but no, after the display in Sligo last weekend, I think it would have been the last straw for Alan. He's a very proud manager. He's got a great career behind him, and his strength with the Drogheda, his strength throughout his teams all his teams were well organised defensively, because he was a good defender himself, and hard to break down and hard to beat, and that has been Drogheda's complete failing this year.
It's amazing, isn't it? You know, 33 goals